All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of our Launchpad. I'm Jessica, and today I am joined by Rhiannon Roze, who was just named one of our Rising Stars of 2026. So, welcome, Rhiannon.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Super excited to have you be part of our Rising Stars this year. So, you have been doing this for a really long time, right? You started DJing back in 2001.
Yeah, so crazy.
That was like 25 years ago. Like, have you been
I
doing this since
know.
you were like a child or like
Thank you. Yes. No, like it's so funny because that's always the next question. Whenever I'm like, yeah, like 2001 or they're like, how old are you? And I'm like, let's move on. I'm like, we don't need to discuss that. But no, I mean, personally, I'm stoked about like my age and everything. I'm like, whoa, like it's just nuts because I was always the youngest, like always. My older sister was a DJ. I'd go to
Okay.
the part like the raves and like all the things and be like the young one. And now I'm like, oh my god, I'm like one of the older ones now.
And so you've also been a lyricist and an MC since 2011. So like what got
Yeah.
you interested in like moving from just like spinning vinyl into like putting your vocals down on the track?
Yeah, interesting evolution because it wasn't like it wasn't planned. But I was funny if I was in when I was in Vancouver, Canada, because I lived there. I was dating someone who lived in Seattle, and so I was doing the kind of the long distance driving for like a year or so, and then yeah, I was just listening to music in the car, and then I don't know, I just started like coming up with lyrics, and I've always been like as a kid, like I loved writing and write poems and stuff like that, but I just never thought of like connecting like you're a writer and you love music, like write lyrics. It just like kind of had to happen like on its own, like just flowing in the car, and then yeah, I started a lyric book. And then when I moved to LA, like my friend Bang, who is a rapper, he was like, I guess I had some wine one night and I was like shared a bunch of lyrics with him, and I'm like, checked out my lyric book and whatever. And he's like, dude, these are sick. Like, what are you gonna do with them? And I'm like, I don't know, And he's like, fucking let's go, like put them down. And I'm like, what, me? Like. So he encouraged me to get in the studio. We got in the studio with Dem Joints and recorded my vocals, and he helped me make some tracks.
Awesome. So was that like the natural progression then? Like you started putting down your vocals and then you were like, okay, well now I want to actually like learn how to make the song that they're going on. So is that what like led you into production?
Yeah, 100%. It was something that had always like been there, but like the DJing had taken off, and like even then the artist thing had taken off, and I was like, I don't even know. I'm like, I barely have time to like I don't know, stay healthy. Like, and I'm like, I can't imagine. I don't know, like learning how to produce music to me felt like, oh my God, I have to go back to school for like 4 years and get another degree. Like that's what it felt like. And I was like, there's no way. Like I have to hustle. I have to make money. Like I'm on a work visa. I'm Canadian. Like it was like a whole thing. But then once I got my green card in 2016, then suddenly I was free to do whatever I wanted for work. And so I could kind of like have more of a balance of like work and then like sort of go back to school, because I felt like, all right, like I've been accepted. I'm a resident now, like.
Is that
Yeah.
when you started doing like let's see, what was it? It was Cosmic Academy and Matrix sessions. Is that when those happened?
Yeah, funny enough, I took an intro to Ableton class in 2016 at Garnish Music School. I haven't listed them in my bio. I used to, but I was like, I technically it was only a week, so I'm like, but
Like,
like,
does it count? I don't
I don't
know.
know. I mean, I totally have love for them still, but like that enabled me to see the light, like just like a week course, and I was like, okay, I can do this. And then I think I posted about it, and a friend of mine saw. I was like, yo, have you heard of Matrix sessions? And I was like, no. And I went in and just met everyone. Everyone was like so cool. So yeah, I started going to Matrix in 2017. So I was pretty much there 17 and 18. And just putting hours and hours and hours and hours in, the studio and learning. And like, yeah, it felt really good. And then, yeah, I think I discovered IO Music Academy like within the last few years, and same with Cosmic Academy. So that was like more recent. Like I almost felt like there might have been pieces missing. And so when I started taking more classes, I was like, oh, there
Mhm.
were some pieces missing.
But yeah, you don't know what you don't know.
100%. Yes.
So when did you start getting into like the bass house and like UKG kind of scene? Has that been something that you've always been interested in, or was like there a turning point somewhere?
Yeah, so honestly, as a kid, so I'm Canadian, but my parents are British. So every summer we would go to the UK and to visit family, obviously. But my favorite thing to do is to like go into town to like Oxford, go to like HMV, like the record store, and buy like back then like CDs of my favorite stuff. Some vinyl back then too. And yeah, and it was obviously just heavy influence of like the UK, all the UK sounds. You know what I mean? Back then, also it was like yeah, two step, garage, and like bass line, and so I'm assuming that's what influenced me. It also just feels like it like runs in my blood because I could tell like whenever I would go shopping for vinyl records, I was just always attracted to like a bassier sound. Like I loved house music. My sister was more into like that classic, sexy, funky kind of house, but I was always into like electro and like more bassy stuff, like the kind of like slightly heavier hitting stuff. It could still be funky, but like breaks was huge. I have a huge breaks collection on vinyl. So it's interesting. Like all those influences are very much like part of my childhood in a way, and then when I started collecting vinyl, that's the kind of vinyl I collected. And then I started getting like as a DJ, I started getting offers for more mainstream stuff. So I expanded my collection for sure, and like went on this whole rabbit hole, like journey through like like playing corporate events and like traveling all over the world and like all this stuff, playing like super commercial stuff because that's what made the money, is how I got the work visa. You know what I mean? So it was like I was like, well, I love DJing so much. Like, I love the craft of DJing that I'm like, I'm not going to say no to a gig. I'm like, I'm just going to figure out how to do it. So I was even playing like hip hop, open format, like trap, twerk, like all the things, right? And so I honestly, it's a financial thing too. Like, I finally can afford to be an underground DJ. Like, everyone's like, oh, like, it's so cool, like underground, like those commercial people. And I'm like, I couldn't afford not to be commercial until very recently. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. So was
yeah.
there also some like drum and bass and like dubstep influence then, like being in the UK, like around that time when those were like popping off?
Yes, hell yeah. Yeah, yeah, even like jungle and yeah, dude, I have a dubstep like DJ mix from 2010. It's still on my SoundCloud. It's so cheesy and hilarious, but I'm like still in love with the tracks.
I'm definitely gonna go find this after and
Oh
listen to
no.
it.
It's a little cringy, but I'm down. It's 2010.
Right, yeah. I mean, like dubstep was finding its footing then.
Yeah.
So I get it. I get it. Who were some of the artists that you admire or like who kind of inspired your sound?
I mean, AC Slater for sure. Like him, it's like him and Jack Beats. Like I remember, I'm trying to think of some of like the first tracks they came out with, but like I was just immediately obsessed because I was like, oh, this is it. Because I'm like, I love house and I love like breaks and the bassier sound, and they've like combined them. Hence me like in my freaking night bass
Night
shirt
Bass
right
hat, yeah.
now.
So is this like
um,
before they launched Night Bass? Was this still like the treble and bass era or like the
yeah,
beginnings of Night Bass?
yeah, it was before because I think they established night bass in 2014 if I'm not mistaken. I feel like that's correct, but I'm not 100% sure. But like, no, so this is back in like 2009. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. It was like
Nice.
2009, 2010. That sound started coming through, and that's also unfortunately when I started to like traverse the sort of more like commercial landscape of like the industry. So in some ways, like I feel like I missed out on a lot because I already had so much music to collect. I feel like there's like a little bit of a gap in my collection of that sound. But I would still like buy it and download it, but I just wasn't getting the gigs to play it. So
Mhm.
I couldn't be happier to be where I am right now. I'm playing like the gigs I'm playing. It's so fun.
Right, getting to play shows like with AC Slater or like releasing
That
on this
too.
label. Like, is that like surreal to you now that it's like years later and you're like, oh, I've released on that label?
Yeah, it's so crazy how like we can underestimate ourselves or what we're capable of or what's possible because like I just didn't even think I'd be able to produce. I don't know. I just like wasn't exposed to any of that, and like I know it sounds crazy. Well, in my high school they had a music production course, but I think there was like maybe one woman who took it, and like I don't know. It just wasn't like I was just like, oh, like you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't see the role models, so I just assumed I couldn't do that. And I'm like, what? No. So yeah, very happy that I dove in and learned finally.
Yeah, there weren't a ton of like female DJs and producers. There was like Anna Luneau and like Alice in Wonderland like coming up and like not too many more. And now there's a ton, which is awesome. I love to see like so many more female artists being put on like festival lineups or like headlining their own shows. So
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I remember. I think actually, one of my first records was DJ Rap. That is such a throwback. But she's like from the UK. It was her. Oh, it was her and Anne Savage. Oh my god, I'm so aging myself right now. These are like the raves I used to go to way back when, because they would actually come through like Vancouver, um, where I grew up. So that was dope. But like so there were female DJs, but they weren't. I guess they weren't like necessarily getting the spotlight. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like they were now. But I remember when they rolled through town, I felt very inspired by them. I was like, oh shit, I can do that? Okay. Oh, I didn't ask if I could swear.
Oh, you definitely can. It's fine.
Hell yeah. I'll try not to be too much of a sailor, but
We can edit it out if we need
yeah.
to. So now that you've been doing this for like such a long time, like what continues to inspire you? Like what makes you want to make new tracks or like go perform more shows?
Honestly, I feel like when I DJ, there's an energy that's shared with like the crowd, and it's just so beautiful and uplifting, and it's like we all get to experience like that present moment, like just like such presence, like present moment awareness, and this like connection through music. Um, and I just feel like I carry those moments with me. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, oh, this makes it all worth it. You know what I mean? When I had those moments with people and they just appreciate it so much, and I'm like, all right, like I want to keep going with this. And I mean, genuinely, like I love music, and my goal like in life would be to kind of close the gap between like the music I'm capable of producing and the music I really want to DJ. Because right now there's a gap. I
Right.
fully admit, like I'm like, this is what I produce, and then I'll like as a DJ have a totally different set of ears and be like going through Beatport or SoundCloud or whatever, and be like finding stuff that I'm like, this is sick, I want to play this, and then I'm like, I wanted, why didn't I could have made that, so I'm like trying to like get better at music production so I can like make stuff that I'm like, yeah, this hits.
Do you find yourself like trying to pick apart songs that you like to be like, how did they make that? Or like, what is this sound? How do I replicate this?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and like in music production, we call it referencing, and it's like the smartest thing to do. And I need to actually do more of it. Like a lot of times, I go in the DAW and I'll start playing around, which is obviously also what you're supposed to do. But I feel like I sleep on referencing a bit. Like I almost need to go and be like, hey, pick a song that you love, and like, yeah, exactly like you said, like break down like how they made it, and learn that way. It's a great way to learn.
So you said you learned Ableton originally. Is that still the DAW that you continue to use?
Yes, yes. Ableton is Bay.
Do you like use it for any kind of like live production kind of stuff? I know it can be used for that, but do you use it in that way?
No, not at all. No, no, I'm just like all in on. I'm like, I don't know. I just have never messed with like if I'm gonna do anything that's like live, it'd be like just hopping on the mic, rapping or something, hopping on stage.
Do
That's
you
always
not do
fun.
that in your sets now? Like, have you kind of like swayed from that, or like, do you want to incorporate it more? Or
It's so fun when I do, because I feel like I'll kind of hook people in just through the DJing, and then if I suddenly grab the mic and hop on stage and start rapping, they're like, "What is happening?" You know what I mean? And it's so fun to do, like especially if it's like a bigger show with a proper stage, because I'm basically like, all right, become the artist now. But it's funny because I've been playing these like underground shows, and they don't even have a mic because it's just like we don't, no one should be talking right now. Like, let's just vibe, right? So, and I'm totally down with that. So I'll kind of like still like mouth the tracks, perform them, but there hasn't been like a lot of microphones for me to grab at those underground shows. And I'm like, I get it, guys, because last thing you want is someone at 4 a.m. just like drunk grabbing the mic, like, nah.
understandable. So if someone hasn't heard any of your tracks, what song do you think kind of best represents your style right now?
You're making me choose one?
You could choose a couple. It doesn't have to be one. Like I know artists go through phases, and you'd be like, "Well, this is my early one I like, or this is what I sound like now," or like
Oh, I
however
love
you want
that.
to do it.
No, that's totally fair. I was kidding. Like, I mean, there's so many. I mean, definitely, I would say check out my collabs with Phantom Freak because, like, his sound is very consistent, and I'd say mine is fairly consistent. And we've like come out with some pretty fun stuff. And that's like definitely like the fun kind of like sassy vocal yet like like thick kind of like beats and bass lines that we play at the after. So those are really fun. Um, One of my favorites from last year was Soundboy with this artist called, I don't even know how to pronounce his name. I think it's Ketone. But it's, yeah, so my track called Soundboy, that I felt like really represented, most accurately represented like my energy, my vibe, like the kind of lyrics I like to perform, like everything about that track. I was like, I love this. Like, this is very representative of me. So that's dope. And then also 1997, who makes 140, we collabed on actually a couple tracks. Only one of them came out last year. Um, and so that I feel like, even though it's a very different vibe, it's like 140 is more gritty and more like rapping. It's just like slightly more introspective, kind of like, interesting lyrics. But that is also absolutely part of me. So it's like if you were to compare Soundboy, it's like uplifting, speed garagey, kind of sassy vocals, and then like 1997, our track Focus that came out on Circus, you'd be like, whoa, like they're very different vibes, but I'm like, well, I'm a Gemini rising, so there you go. Those are my vibes.
And speaking of your tracks with Phantom Freak, I know you guys just released some remixes for Gothic, and all of those were
Yeah,
like so different from the original
right.
song and were amazing.
Yay! I'm so glad you like them. Yeah, I'm so stoked that like Bite This invited us to do that because I'm like, I love this track so much, and I felt like it has so much character that it could go many different directions. And I was like, what? We get to do a remix pack? Hell yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. I was a big fan. Uh,
Yay.
so, so for someone who's like just starting out, like trying to be either a DJ or producer, a lyricist, a singer, any of those things, like what advice would you give to someone trying to do that now?
I would say that I almost suggest doing like the soul searching first and being like, hey, like figure out your why. You know what I mean? Like why do you want to do this? And if you're just like, I just am obsessed with this, I love this, then it's like great. Write that down and like don't forget that. Like almost like read your why statement every day because you're gonna need it. You know what I mean? Like and remember how much you love the music and the craft and the and the learning and like and the community, like all the things. And literally, if you could remind yourself of that every morning as like a journaling prompt, like that's going to get you through everything because it's easy to kind of like lose track of that and then maybe get overwhelmed by just like the to-do lists that artists have these days, that are really intense. And yeah, it's always like a unique adventure for every person. So I would definitely say there's no like one way to do it, and everything's shifting like all the time. But if you can hang on to your why, and genuinely know yourself and just be like, I'm doing this because I love it, then that's gonna get you through like all the hard stuff. Because every job has stuff that you don't want to do. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you gotta mop the floor. Like you know what I mean? It's so different. So it's not like you're gonna be doing stuff you love all the time. But the point is it worth it? And then if you got your why, it's like hell yeah, it is.
Speaking of some of the things that have been worth it, what are some of your like most memorable moments that you've had so far, like on your journey?
um, it's so interesting. Is like the one that just like popped through. Um, it's so long ago, but it's so impactful. It was so impactful for me because I opened for Tiesto in 2010.
No way. Was he
Yeah,
still playing trance back then?
right.
I
I can't even
mean,
remember.
he's
I
playing
can't even
trance again
remember.
now, but
Yeah.
like
Totally. Yeah, and I think I mean one that was huge. It was just a massive opportunity. I was so nervous. It was like tens of thousands of people. It was like in Cancun, Mexico during spring break. It was just absolutely madness. But the other thing is that I almost didn't get to do the gig cuz like there was just like some weird thing going with this like this old manager person that I used to work with, and there was like it was just this weird sabotagey thing, and I was like, no, I'm supposed to be there, and I like there were so many things fighting against me, but I made it and like did this show, and it was huge. And I guess that's another thing, like for artists who are starting out, like there's so many things that happen that I could have been like, oh, it's a sign, I'm not supposed to go, and it's like, nah, like if you want something, like go get it. Like
Mhm.
it was insane. I was going through a breakup, like I had all my stuff was in my car. I like it was like nuts, and like I don't even know how I got on the plane, got down there, I didn't even know where I was staying. It was insane. I basically just flew to Mexico and was like, all right, like who knows who, I gotta figure this out, and finally got in touch with the promoters and was like, I'm here and I'm booked for this. They're like, yes you are. I'm like, oh my god, it was crazy. It was awesome.
Just hopped on the plane and were like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, straight up. Yes.
And so you've played at some pretty cool places. You've played at Red Rocks, you've played at ADE, but if there was like anywhere you could play in the world, like be it just a venue, a show, a festival, like where would you want to play?
Um, ooh. I don't know. I mean, like obviously that's like the staples, like Tomorrowland. You know what I mean? Like of course, like that would be sick. And I gotta say, I've been so in love with like the underground scene and these little like warehouse parties that in some ways it's apples and oranges. I was gonna say some ways I prefer them to like these big stage shows where I feel like I can't even see anyone's faces, but it's just different. But honestly, like I will play anywhere that's just like really like down to vibe with me and my music. I'm so excited to be there. I don't care if it's a hole in the wall or like yeah, a massive like stage at a festival. Like I'm like equally so stoked. Like I'm just like, who wants to vibe? Let's go,
Mhm.
So like for me, the venue's less important. It's like all about like the people who are there. Honestly.
Awesome. Have you gotten to play in London, like, or any of the places that you would go rave back in the day?
I did actually like it was so long ago. I did play in Southampton in the UK, in England, and then also in London at this like place called Tiger Tiger. It was like I think it was like a bar. So it wasn't like the it wasn't sort of like everything you'd ever imagined, but it was still playing in London, it was like sick. So yeah, hopefully some shows in England kind of come about. Though we've chatted with our friends from England, so when we were at ADE, met up with like Gav from uh, Garrett Shared and Yosh and stuff, and they're like, man, you guys have it good in LA. Like actually getting attendance at like the warehouses and doing the afters. So like, I don't know. They're saying it was harder to like get people to come out in England, and they're like, you got it good in LA. Like you feel lucky to be there, and I'm like, all right, good, I do.
If you could work with anyone, like on a track, like who would be your like top person?
um, hmm. I mean, I kind of still have to say AC Slater because he's also like become a friend. Like, so, like he's so chill, but just, yeah, super talented. It's like him, Chris Lorenzo, but even like people like that like Casey Club is dope. Like, I really love that kind of, oh, Zero is also like big in my world. And MPH, so I have a track with him, that Toxic track, but it'd obviously be sick to do another one. So yeah, not one person. There's definitely like a ton out there. And my girl Shosh from the UK, but we actually did get to vibe on a track, we're probably gonna work on another one next time I see her.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that are coming up, what's going on for you this year in 2026? Like, do you have more tracks coming out? Are you going on tour? Like, what do you got planned?
Yeah, definitely a mixed bag. Definitely lots of releases. Like, yeah, 2025 was insane. The release schedule is bonkers, and it's still going. I'm like it's barely February, and I already have two tracks out. There's another one this week. And Yeah, but I actually have a collab release on Nightbase again. This month, February 20th. Um, so that I'm stoked about with Jay Robinson. And I feel like Nightbase, their sound has changed quite a bit. Like, I feel like 2-3 years ago, I feel like this track with Jay would, I'm like, I feel like this wouldn't work for night bass, and now it does. It's like so interesting. So really excited for that because that'll be my third collab release on the label. And I'm a big fan. So, but yeah, just yeah, a lot of releases. Tool Room Radio invited me to do a DJ mix because I have that track called Price Tag with Juice and Hugh out on Strangelove, which is like a sub label of Tool Room. So that's exciting too. Miami Music Week. My management's putting on an event, which I'm probably not supposed to announce, but there you go. I think we're gonna do the Clevelander again, so Midas Touch Management, and I'm gonna get Josh Phantom Freak on that one as well. So we'll play there again, and definitely going to ADE again. But yeah, other than that, just like whatever comes up. We're playing a festival out in the desert in March. The like Jackson Tree. So there's quite a bit in the works.
Awesome. Well, we'll definitely see you at Miami Music Week. We'll be there throwing
Yay!
an event, so we'll definitely have to meet up
Oh, I love that.
sometime
Yes.
during the week when it's not as crazy, but I know it's a crazy week, so
Yeah. Yeah,
we'll
let's
figure
make
it
it
out. We'll
happen.
figure it out. One last question I have for you. So, with your name being Rhiannon, were your parents fans of Fleetwood Mac?
Hell yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny. I think actually my mom said it was actually your dad that named you. And okay, get this. My dad's name is Ian, and I was like, "Wait, Rhiannon has Ian in it." And I'm like, "Did he really do that?" And I kind of like figured that out like recently, and I was like, "That's weird, but that's kind of cool." Like my dad's name is in my name somehow. But yeah, no, I think they were definitely Fleetwood Mac fans, and yeah, I love that name. Like I'm really, even though it's like so hard to spell, and when I go to like Mexico, I'm like me llamo Adriana, entonces like I'm just like let's just simplify it a little bit 'cause it's too challenging. So it doesn't always translate well, but I'm very happy with the name.
Awesome. I love it. Big Fleetwood Mac fan too. We have rumors on vinyl
Yay!
in our collection, so
Hell yeah! Awesome.
awesome. Well, thank you for taking some time to chat with us today. I
Yeah.
really appreciate you joining me on this episode of The Launchpad. Do you have anything else that you want to share with our fans, your fans, before we hop off?
Oh, I don't think so. Just yeah, thanks to everyone who watched and listened, and definitely get in touch on I don't know. I'm big on like I love Instagram. I'm trying to like be more active on TikTok. I'm guilty of not logging in as much, but yeah, I love staying in touch with people on the gram and just like getting to know like who's into my stuff, who's into my music, and getting to know yeah, fans, friends. So definitely don't hesitate to hit me up. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of The Launchpad. We will see you all on our next one.